Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Magic Arena Run. Today it's FNM and it's Artisan, so basically commons and uncommons. So you won't see any rares here, they're all banned, but you also see the following extra cards also banned. So Healer's Hawk, way too effective, especially with pump auras and whatnot. Imagine turn 1 Healer's Hawk, turn 2 all that glitters or something like that. Persistent Petitioner's also banned because it happens to have 3 toughness. If it had only 2 toughness, it probably would not be banned because there'd be enough cheap sweepers. Cauldron Familiar is banned. Cavalcade of Calamity is banned. Gates of Blaze is banned. Veil of Summer and Zenith Flare is banned. That said, they banned Cauldron Familiar. They did not ban the other half. Well, I have another deck just in case this one doesn't pan out. But this one is it's basically an Artisan Sacrifice deck. So it should be relatively cheap because we still have the Mayhem Devil as some way to deal damage. Fireblade Artist, remember this one back in the day. This one also a good way to get early damage through, especially if our opponent is on the slow end. Witch's Oven, always fine. Also Bastion of Remembrance as an additional way to get damage through. Blood Aspirant is an additional sack outlet and an additional source of damage. It's a different way to deal damage, but it's there. And you got Weaponize the Monsters because you could always use more monsters. That said, we got Spark Harvest in case we need to get rid of something big. Village Rites if we happen to need more cards. Claim the Firstborn if we can. Why sack our stuff if we can borrow our opponent's stuff? And the usual Bloodfell Caves and Evolving Wilds. So we'll go with this deck list. And we'll probably just play a few games with this one. We'll see how this one goes. If we're having a hard time, like I noticed there's some blanks that I can't exactly fill out, then we'll probably go with plan B, which is not that great. Oh yeah, we're also running 22 lands, so that might or might not be an issue. Definitely keeping this one. So we're gonna go, yeah, then go turn 1 Caves. I'm gonna go turn 2 Oven Footlight Fiend. Actually, no. We'll go turn 2 Oven Serrated Scorpion. Then that gives us the option for turn 3 Mayhem Devil. Opponent probably has something big on next turn. That's why we have the Spark Harvest. I might consider wanting to have more than that. Definitely not killing this one off just yet. So we got options, plenty of them in fact. I could just play the Mayhem Devil. We could just take the initial hit, then come back on the crackback. But I could also do. Let's see. Yeah, we can also do Blood Aspirant. I guess I Spark Harvest this now before our opponent can make this bigger. So we got a free 2/2, a little extra damage. Opponent now has a 1/1. And the turn. Next turn we'll just unload with Mayhem Devil Footlight Fiend. Let's hope we did not waste that Spark Harvest. Opponent could have a shock. It'll have to be an actual shock or another burn spell. It's not gonna be stomped from Bone Crusher Giant. Opponent goes Sunder Shaman, so that's a big one. So we actually have the other plan. Now can't be blocked by more than 1 creature, but we are and when it deals combat damage to a player, so we could lose this one. So I have choices between playing the Bastion and Footlight or playing the Mayhem Devil and Footlight. So let's say I sack this one. This grows, I get to deal 1 damage to this and another damage to that. We'll see if our opponent triggers it. He might just choose not to block. Okay, he's gonna choose not to block. So we will have to chump block with Footlight Fiend. But we'll get another chump blocker off Bastion of Remembrance. The nice thing is this doesn't have trample quite yet, but There is a test and training which gives trample, so he hasn't cast it yet. Yeah, he might as well. Now he could still get this trample, and we could still lose the witches up. He does have a trick though. Colossus, so he does have trample. Okay, so that's why we do have. So that's why we have a plan B. I am willing to take the damage anyway. One, because we get to ping this one. Ping our opponent. Build the aspirant. We will take a bit of damage, and we will lose the probably lose the witch's oven. We could use one more mana to. Oh, there's another outlet, but we'll hold on to that. I guess I could cast Weaponize, so our opponent will have to decide whether they want to get rid of one or the other. I guess let's just cast a weapon. Because let's cast a Weaponize now, because at most I'm only going to be able to sack 2 anyway. I'll be kicking myself if I end up drawing a land though. Yes. No, let's not cast it. Because this one's a sack outlet, but it's a single sack outlet. It's a one-shot. So let's say I lose the Bastion. I'm kind of fine with it, I suppose. Opponent goes Slaying Fire. Oh, he's holding back. Okay. So now we hold. Basically, we're gonna try to get as much damage through just by sacking our stuff. Opponent has Rampart Smasher. Okay, so we have lots of math here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wait, that's enough if he. It's over actually. Okay. Yeah, that's enough damage, true. Yeah, I like the idea of going aggro, but I would definitely lower my curve. Waiting for 4 mana, not quite ideal. I would definitely run Zoroark Goblins. It's probably possible our opponent just didn't open any in the hand. So that's one game true. And as usual, I keep forgetting to post the deck list. What the heck? We'll play a few more games just to make up for that. So I'm liking the concept so far. Is there any? Can we get wrecked easily? I'm guessing mono green is more likely to wreck us. Well, the red, I like the red green concept. That one's actually quite good too. But you definitely want to have a lower 1, 2, 3 curve. Though I am kind of counting on it. So, okay, this one's a bit sketchy. I kept the evolving wilds because those are extra triggers. Okay, this one's gonna be annoying too. But we're definitely gonna sack this. Let's get our red mana. So we'll take a little early damage. So we'll probably just play Fireblade Artist next turn. And in a pinch, this one can deal an extra 2 damage if you can't swing. Opponent has the same idea as we do. I considered Sanitarium Skeleton before, but... Okay. I can claim Sparkheart. That's... Like, this one is returned to hand. Might come in handy. But we'll... Because I can also just claim the Sanitarium Skeleton, but that kind of does nothing on itself. We'll pass. For now. Definitely our opponent wants to build up a board. I'm expecting this to be a go wide board based on Bastion of Remembrance. That's kind of how I would do it too. Bushmeat Poacher. Ooh. Life gain, draw a card. That does sound great. So I could... we can't deal with this. Not quite yet. Also, Claim the Firstborn's gonna miss this one, but Spark Harvest won't. I'm going to decline for now. Okay, so I can claim Spark Harvest, not play anything else. Well, I can't claim this anyway, so that's a bit moot. No, I can claim something else than Spark Harvest this one. There's the plan. So claim Spark Harvest. I guess I could have waited. But I don't want our opponent to be able to untap with that. That's gonna just mess up our combat math. And it blocks that, that's a given. Also note that as cheap as this is, yeah, it's very cheap, so that's gonna be annoying. But definitely gonna just play the main. Yeah, he's gonna just end up recasting this over and over again. We could actually lose because of that. So we're not gonna sack. Because, okay, play Mayhem Devil. Don't it could have a Disfigure. So, actually I should have held this one because our opponent could block with Sanitarium Skeleton. Yeah, we'll ping this. It's kind of a waste here, but it means that if I swing with these two, the damage will get through. Let's take this one. Yeah, that was way too early. I could have waited. Like if our opponent didn't chose not to block, I would have just pinged our opponent. I'm pretty sure our opponent has some sort of removal. And Ill-Gotten Inheritance. Oh, I remember this one. It's gonna be so annoying to get through between these. So let's say I sack the Serrated Scorpion, which kind of makes sense. It's not getting through anytime soon. So, and we're just gonna aim all on our opponent's face. Okay. Opponent could yeah, we're kind of hoping for something better at this point. Another Evolving Wilds is fine too. Opponent probably has a pump effect. Village Rites. Oh. Okay, not too bad. We get extra damage. Well, it's 1 instead of 3, and our opponent gets extra cards off it. That's kind of what I'm hoping to do. But it's going to take a while. So let's place this. And it's going to be a bit of a timer. The good thing is, I'm pretty sure our opponent has to have more than just that. Okay, has a Serrated Scorpion, so that's going to negate our previous Scorpion. We need to have more creatures at this point, and our opponent's giving nasty looks to Mayhem Devil. Mutual Destruction. Oh, lots of sacrifices too, so... And might as well sack this now. Got a mountain. Yeah, this is the part where we fail when we don't have enough card draw. I could draw Village Rites, which is very poor. Well, maybe not that poor. Well, it's a bit poor now that we lost the... Yeah, I could have chosen Mutual Destruction, but we didn't exactly have something with Flash. This is the other thing I could have done. Basically, put... Okay, gonna decline this for now. One has a Spark Harvest. No, we have a Spark Harvest. But it's gonna come to the point where our opponent just say, oh, this... Okay, that's an interesting get. So we do have a few more Claim the Firstborns. opponent has a durable coil bug. Yeah, I think I might have run into this opponent before. Yeah, you're gonna want to swing with the menace. I think you might have swapped it around a bit. Okay. We'll pass for now. Footlight Fiend can say block Sanitarium. No, can't block Sanitarium Skeleton. He might swing with just. Oh, it's not gonna swing at all. Do I sack now? No, we decline. I guess we sack now. Yeah, we need more outlets. There's a Mayhem Devil, there's a Serrated Scorpion. And we got Spark Harvest to go on top of that too. I kinda wish I already pinged something. Opponent Village writes their own durable coil bug. Yeah, he wants to do it before this comes down and the sacrifice trigger starts up. Yeah, the Call of the Death Dweller is interesting tech. No, my only saving grace is these are all returned to hand. Yeah. So they don't come back that quickly. Also note our opponent does have an extra buff 4 buffer, so we're actually at a big disadvantage here. Yeah, without a proper exile effect. Second Passage of Remembrance. This actually does it actually does mean that we can put stuff like nope. Yeah, we're flooded. Yeah, that's good. That's good game. Yeah, oops indeed. So it does mean that since we can expect quite a bit of recursion like this, I want to add a little extra tech. Now, Call of the Death Dweller, I did consider putting that in. I just opted not to. There is a card we could put with Escape. It gains us life or draws us a card. That's another thing we can do. But we kind of need cheap removal that does everything, so I'm willing to... Yeah, because there's Call of the Death Dweller, but there's also Elspeth's Nightmare. I'm willing to add 2 of these. That said, we would have to make some cuts. I'd cut 1 Witch's Oven. Witch's Oven's great as a sack outlet, but we don't have any real synergy with it otherwise. Village Rites, Spark Harvest. Yeah, all of these are decent targets. I could cut 1 more land. We're 21. Okay, it's a bit iffy. I'm a bit scared to cut 1 more land. I'm willing to keep the Bastion. I'm definitely keeping the Mayhem Devil. I guess we could cut 1 Fireblade. It's either Fireblade Artist or Blood Aspirant. I'm gonna cut 1 Blood Aspirant. It's a sack outlet, but it benefits more from things being sacked around it rather than it actually sacking stuff. So we're gonna add that. So -1 Aspirant, -1 Oven. We'll see if that change pans out. If I keep running into any more of the mono black decks, I'm going to be adding a lot of other sideboard cards. And our opponent's not spending a penny, so this is probably the best format for him. So, okay, we'll Footlight Fiend into Footlight Fiend into... Okay, we got something to target removal with. So we'll go with Footlight Fiend first. We're not gonna see any... Infuriate, which is fine. I'd rather get the Infuriate out when it's not hitting my face. So we got Last Attempt Reaver turn 2. I want to save that for later. So we'll unload the Serrated Scorpion Footlight Beam. Turn 3, it's either Bastion of Remembrance or Elspeth's Nightmare, depending on the board situation. Yeah, Mono Red is another decent option, especially with Infuriate. Run Amok was in the previous... Chandra Spitfire. Okay, there's our actual target. Yeah, we're not gonna wait for our opponent to do stuff. And it also starts nuking our opponent's cards too, so there's a bonus. So actually not gonna attack. I want to be able to play down Bastion first. We don't have an actual sack outlet, but considering our opponent's on the rush, we might just keep going on swinging. Let's see if our opponent has another Infuriate. Yep, has another Infuriate. I figured that much. Which means that we managed to save on 6 damage. 6 additional damage. Fire Prophecy. Okay, so much for that Bastion, but... Okay, there's a Claim the Firstborn. Let's see. Okay, Pyreling and Bolthound, so we whiffed on that one. Yeah, opponent had to play it all out at that point. I'm actually gonna just play the Last Pet Reaver. Because between these cards that we know our opponent has, I definitely want to try to keep the Bolthound alive. We can take it. Opponent looking if they have removal. Nope. Hireling. This one's also a decent target. I'm definitely gonna block with the token. We'll see if our opponent has the third Inferior. No, it's a shock. Okay. So we save a bit on damage. Taking that part of the board out. Yeah, we just need an outlet this time so that we can benefit from Claim the Firstborn. There's so many cards we can benefit with it. We'll take the extra. Okay, so just both. We'll actually want to keep this one alive. So I want to actually just trade the token for the Scorch Spitter. We'll take the 5 for now. Wait, did it? Oh yeah, I gave it double strike because of that, so we had to get rid of it. Okay, there's our outlet. Sack that. And we have a little life buffer now. Now that we're both running on empty. Nope, one has another Pyreling, but it's just basic. So if I can afford not to sack the token, I will, because I might draw into a Mayhem Devil. Just right on cue. And yeah, opponent concedes there. Yeah, we were gonna have enough damage, and our opponent was... Well, our opponent could have drawn something, like it just needed a non-combat damage source. But yeah, so we got that one. Yeah, I did say I was gonna make that change, and yeah, I think the Elspeth's Nightmare is a good change, so we're gonna edit that. And we'll start another game while we're at it. So it's -1 Oven, -1 Aspirant. Yeah, the balancing is going to be the interesting key here. As far as this hand goes, yeah, I'm keeping it. I don't. This is where the ETB tap lands hurt us. Next turn, I'm probably just gonna play Serrated Scorpion. We'll play Zerta Goblin. I could play Footlight Fiend, but it's not gonna... Yeah, I just played the Serrated Scorpion. Played the Evolving Wilds. So the plan now is to take advantage of that thing, the Firstborn. Could we just take the... You know what? Let's just take the hit for now. It's only... It's 3 damage. Going to place another Zerta Goblin. So we actually could give our opponent the option to... Okay, do another land. Yeah, okay, probably should have gone a Black Source. But... Let's play Oven. Play Claim. Play Footlight Fiend. Take a token. Yeah, probably could low. We could reduce the number of these if we can make these cheaper. Yeah, let's take the hit again. We'll get to a point where we... And basically it's making our opponent decide if they want to go for the huge pump effect. Or in this case, not so huge pump effect. If he plays the Rimrock Knight, might not be a great idea for him. Plays a Prowl Harpooner. Not too bad. Oh, Spark Harvest. So, okay. Let's play the other Footlight Fiend first. So I'm going to swing with both. He knows if he... Okay, he blocks that one. Yeah, we'll let the damage through. Because what we're going to do now is use our Spark Harvest. Sack a creature. Target the Goblin. Sack the Footlight Fiend. Ping the Prowl Harpooner. Okay, there we go. Opponent is starting to get flooded. He did hit a Trashing Brontodon, so we're gonna say goodbye to the Oven. Well, he has to decide if he wants to say goodbye to the Oven now or later. Yeah, I'm actually gonna sack this now. They'll give us a free. They'll give us a free sack. But we are kind of short. Okay, we hit our capacity. Our opponent needs to decide if they want to keep the Trashing Brontodon or not. Now that they're really flooded. Okay, there's a Paradise Druid. I mean, if you're running Paradise Druid, you probably have something very big. Not Embercleave. Wait, opponent's on hold, so we're gonna pass until we hit our effect. So I'm gonna actually swing with these two. Let's see if it encourages him to block both. He definitely blocks with one. Okay, so okay, Droof. So we're gonna play the Evolving Wilds. I guess I can play the Fireplay Artist now. Let's do that now. So our opponent has anti-enchantment artifact tech. I don't think he's willing to use it now though. We may have to start sacking our opponent. Attacks. We'll take. Zerta Goblin. Okay. So we just need to figure out what other outs we have. We do have Weaponize as an out. Okay, play this one. Yeah, my turn. Opponent is not sacking this anytime soon. Yeah, I guess we sack this one, get some damage through. Oh, a serrated scorpion. Okay, that's something. But we're definitely on standstill. In fact, I'm planning to just hold these guys back so that at least I have 4 points of toughness to block Trashing Brontodon with. Our opponent... Okay. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could take 6, but... You know what? Let's take 6. Let's see what our opponent does. Oh. Okay, gain some life back. Opponent probably has a blocker if he's another Trashing Brontodon. Is he going to sack? Nope. Okay, so... start sacking some food. Well, we can just sack one food token. Just get ourselves up to speed. Don't need to sack both quite yet. Do I want to sack this other one just for 2 more damage? Not quite. Let's decline for now. On our Fireblade Artist. So what we can do is we can chump block the we can double block the Zertal Goblin. Wait. Let's see if he actually did draw the... Let's see if he did draw it. Okay, go down to 9. Yet another Trashing Brontodon. Okay, we'll sack this now. Yeah, now that we're getting dinged by 3 trees, it's not quite that, it's not that funny anymore. Also note that if we... Yeah, we did manage to draw some cards. We really need more card draw. This is where you appreciate things like the Midnight Reaper and whatnot. Pass the blocks. Pass this. Okay, I think we can... My opponent plays a Wildwood Tracker. Okay, we'll pass for now. No sack yet. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting dinged by too many lands. I guess it's an argument for even cutting down even more. We did sacrifice 2 Evolving Wilds. That helped us out quite a bit. Okay. Yeah, at this point we're not catching up. Now that our opponent managed to hit the hat trick. So it's actually, we're actually looking at 12. So I'm actually gonna sack these 2 now. I'm tempted to block, but no, I'm not gonna block. We'll see if we can survive. Probably not. Yeah. Yeah, this one won't help. And our opponent can just sack one of his guys to get it out in response. Let's say he chooses to sack one to destroy the Bastion of Remembrance before the well, it's even triggered, so I would be forced to block, sack. We'll see. The math is weird. So I have to block these big ones. There's no way around it. Sec. He could have Collision Colossus, in which case it's about time. So we're gonna take, yeah, we're gonna go down to 1. Okay, go down to 5, but we're not gonna be dealing 5 damage. It was worth a shot. Serrated Scorpion. One, two, three, four, 5. Block 1, gets 3 true. Wait, sack this now. Sack. Yeah, good game. The math doesn't add up. I did consider a life gainish deck where it's all about, since the foods is pretty much gain life. If you're willing to gain life on your own term, if you're willing to gain life on your own turn, you have the new cards from M21. There's the 2 mana enchantment Griffin Airy that you get the 2/2 flyer, which is quite relevant. Then if you go white, then there's the 3 mana 1/4 with flying and lifelink that if you gain 3 or more life, your opponent loses 3 life. So I've considered that one. The timing is just a bit off because it's really more late game than early game because you have to hold 2 mana every time just to sack a food token. Or if you have enough effects like Serrated Scorpion, like even consider that we have like Serrated Scorpion, Sorin's Thirst. The ill-gotten inheritance from a while ago would narrow it down so that you only need. Okay, so discard a card. We'll discard the Aspirant. Yeah, we'll discard the Aspirant. It's a weird one. Okay, got ourselves. I'm actually gonna play the Evolving Wilds first. Play the Serrated Scorpion. Yeah, Vicious Rumors is also a way to get. Face Burning Prophet. Okay, we got the Oven. I'm gonna do the Bastion of Remembrance first. So if our opponent keeps the Prophet around or whatnot, we will have a Serrated Scorpion's Spellgorger Weird. Okay. So I have to decide which one I would rather snipe. Probably the Spellgorger Weird because at least, well, I'm down 1 Elspeth's Nightmare already, but if I have the other. Also, the sad thing is that we're kind of defensive at this point. Yeah, let's say I kept the Blood Aspirant. What would I have put down instead? Yeah, no point swinging this time. This looks like a spell-heavy version. Oh, ill-gotten inheritance again. I guess if we're not fast enough, we really should run this. If you're running green, you really should consider having Enchantment Hate. So at least we got our 2 wins already, and we're actually learning more about what we need to overcome. And I'm definitely not gonna sack cards willy-nilly. Well, Village Rites might be a good consideration. But we definitely need to start keeping our opponent down here. Burglar Rat. Good. We lose the village. You know what? Let's sack 1. If we might draw into land, so at least we'd have something to sack off. Oh, there we go. Now we have a Blood Aspirant who probably should swing. So now we have Blood Aspirant as an option. And another oven. Well, yeah, I think we have too many ovens at this point. I'm willing to keep it just to see if our opponent plays a discard effect. And again, it might be wasted, but yeah, let's just play it. We might get benefit from it. So definitely attacking with this. So we're definitely looking for more creatures at this point. If we keep drawing more cards, and that's already after me casting a village, right? So we are probably not fated to win. That's okay. So going plus another Burning Prophet, so one is definitely shields up. Yeah, it looks like we kind of need to have specific removal effects. We're not letting. We're gonna have to sack that. Okay. Yeah, Obnix's Cruelty also good. Probably still prefer Grasp, but well, if you're running multiple colors, yeah, it might be actually better. So I'm actually considering how we need to. I guess we can use less effects like this, and we can use more actual stuff. Call of the Death Dwellers actually is looking really good right now. We probably should make room for that. Oh, there's a last creeper. So we're pretty much just waiting for a Mayhem Devil or weaponize the monsters at this point. Okay, so Spellgorger weird after playing Arthur's previous spell, so you could still have one more. Okay, we'll see what we get with Light Fiend. The only benefit with the multiple ovens is okay, we have to let that through. But definitely we will chump block this one. We could even chump block this one. It's gonna take a lot. Like, let's pass the blockers. Definitely chump blocking. Okay, we'll chump block this way. That's fine. Yeah, this is the part that scares me. My turn. So probably. Read though. Race is on. Again, let's hold on to this a bit. Knock on wood, Mayhem down. Yeah. Thank goodness our opponent's flooded too. But we're also flooded, so that's a problem as well. also flooded, thank goodness. Okay guys, this is what watch as well as it all day. Opponent does have the advantage of this. We could actually put one of our own. Now the reason I'm not swinging in with this one yet is because just you know, let's sack one. Just give ourselves a little buffer. Come on, Mayhem Devil. Yes, Mayhem Devil, we get one trigger here, we get two triggers if we weaponize. That's another trigger source. That's just an interesting one. I can swing, then ping with weaponize the deal. Oh wait, now we can go. So basically what happens is well, that was a smart one. Maybe we can cut the number. We could cut the number of ovens, I guess. Yeah, because we're learning more about this one. This is going to be something we're going to see every time. Factory sacrifice is possible. I'm going to kick myself if I draw a village right now. It's a land. It's just as bad. If this was back in Ixalan, this one we could sacrifice artifacts, but so that would have been great as well. Just watch us flood the decks. Okay, sorry, this working. Opponent needs to decide if they want to punch this ticket or not. At least we can reduce the amount of life gain or give. Yeah, sure. Surprise, it's a swamp. You didn't miss much. Actually, now that I think of this, a creature with escape is not a bad idea. Spark Harvest is not what we wanted. So I guess we start swinging. We will weaponize. I know why I would. Oh, no reason for Spark Harvest. You can pay the full price. Not like we're saving mana. I'll actually hold this. Opponent has shown to have discard effects. Third oven's probably not such a bad idea. Yeah, we need to have ways to get creatures back. Okay, opponent takes Spark Harvest because that will actually nuke his creature. I probably would have run Memory Leak because that did something. The flood is real. Hit a bigger, hit flood, a larger flood, much longer. So we're probably not going to win this one at this rate. suffering for. This could actually just be very specific. Okay, hit enough. No, we hit the evolving ones even though we have triggers because we need to start digging all the stuff up. We haven't scryed anything anyway. We only had like a few ones. So, moment of truth, but we're probably not gonna win this one. It's now, kinda hoping he does. See if he goes for one of those. Let's see if he gets greedy. Because it's 6 mana to sacrifice one. We have to sacrifice one. Let's see if it tempts him to sack. Because if he sacks one, then I just sack the other token. If not, I gain life and stop there. Okay, we'll stop there. Yeah, we probably should also consider Farika's libation. Nope. Yeah, our opponent's already getting very close there. So we have a very good. That's fine. It's not that bad. So basically, we have a. So there we go. That's our experience with the deck. It's very good quick, not very good long game. So at least at least FNM, you only need to win 2 games. And this will get you there. Probably want to say it's a case of the A and B mechanic issue, but I would probably load in more creatures, maybe cut some lands even more. We're already at 21. I guess you could go all the way down to 19. But there you go. That's it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications and whatnot. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Have a great weekend, everyone. God bless. Stay safe.